want a modern American muscle car, there's really only one choice these days. It comes from Dodge, and it comes in two flavors. It's the Challenger or it's the Charger. The Mustang is a sports car. The Camaro is a sports car. The Chevy SS, you know, whatever, that was a good car. But this is a real deal muscle car. It has the same problems that classic muscle cars had, in that it's just not the most agile thing on the street. It's far better though. It's got quality suspension setup, big beefy Pirelli P0 tires. It has the go fast bits you need to go fast and do dumb things, but the dumb things happen thanks to a rather beefy 6.4 liter or 392 cubic inch, if you like, engine. Here, it makes 485 horsepower. Now, some people are like, oh man, I want the Hellcat. I get it, man. 707 horsepower is intoxicating. But what this can do is also do awesome stuff. Traction control is not all the way off. It is in sport, and it still will let you do brake stands, because Dodge knows what? Upshift. This car's silly. This car is silly, silly, silly. It's the best kind of silly. It's not great at any one thing except putting smiles on your face. It's great at that. It looks awesome. It looks suitably awesome on the outside, and I think part of that is helped by this absolutely wonderful destroyer gray paintwork. It's a really good gray. It reminds me of Leadfoot gray from Ford, but I think theirs might be a touch darker, and I think I like destroyer gray better than Leadfoot gray. There's some satin black accents on the outside. Now this is the Daytona, which harkens back to a truly special car from the late 60s, early 70s. That's, you know, one of the big wing cars. The Superbird and the Dodge Daytona were the ones that destroyed NASCAR, looked ridiculous on the street, and remain one of my favorite cars of all time. In fact, we had a Lemons car done up to look like Richard Petty's Superbird. It was the Uberbird, and it was delightfully terrible and awesome at the same time. So, how are they paying homage beyond just the name? Well, great horsepower under the hood. If you look at the rear decal over the trunk, it has a similar shape as the old wing. Obviously, they can't put, you know, a 20-foot high wing in the back. It wasn't 20 feet, but they can't put a big high wing in the back anymore. That just wouldn't fly. I would give them props for doing so, but I appreciate the decal effort route instead. One decal I don't love is the big Hemi one on the hood. I mean, it has 392 badges everywhere. It is constantly loud. You do not need to see a reminder. Some people love that, and I don't hate it. I just wouldn't spec it if I was getting the car, and there is an option to delete some of the satin stickers. It's not paint. I would take that one off and leave the roof and the rear stuff on. I like the way the rest of it looks. There's also another color that you can get that is new for, I think it was new in 2018 this year, and it is F8 green, and it is fantastic. It's a dark green, and it would look so good with their bronze wheels. Oh, that would be such a great color combination. But this destroyer gray is awesome. Of course, you get B5 blue and all the other fun colors, plum crazy. Dodge does some good colors, especially in the Charger Challenger family. Now, you said 6.4 liters, 485 horsepower, and it's backed up by the tried and true, and now after the last few years, beloved ZF 8-speed gearbox. This is such a good gearbox, that's why a number of automakers use it. And you don't need lightning fast shifts in this car, but downshift, it's quick, and when you upshift, it goes, it's like you have James Hetfield riding shotgun. It suits this car so well. Now, how does it just burn through traction? It looks like those are pretty wide wheels and tires, and they're 275s all the way around, and that is just not enough. This thing basically needs a 305 square stance to get rid of the slip slidiness, but the slip slidiness is part of what makes this car so much fun. I don't want to take this to a track and try to set some new lap times. I want to go and slide corners and do really dumb, irresponsible things. That is part of what makes this car so appealing. Same with the Hellcat. Now, these cars are decent on a racetrack. They are way better than you are thinking. Stop shaking your head. No. The suspension is sorted. There's big Brembo brakes. On this Daytona, it gets the same 15.4-inch front rotors as the Hellcat. This would be more manageable on a track than a Hellcat too, of course. If you have almost nearly 300 more horsepower, a bit over 200 more horsepower, if you fat-foot it coming out of a corner, you have a little bit more of a safety net here with 485 horsepower. Plus, the sport traction control system is good. And there is a drive mode system, so you can select different. You hit the Super Track Pack button, it brings you right to the Dodge Performance Control Center, so you can adjust the engine and transmission, the paddle shifters, the traction, and the steering. And incidentally, if you go into the mode to set that up, there's an info button that tells you what those are all actually doing, which is really cool to see. Then you also get the performance pages with the various gauges and timers, because Dodge knows you want to have fun with this and burn the hell out of those beautifully big, expensive Pirelli set of tires on this thing. Wonder what this would do with like a set of Michelin pilots. I like Michelin better than Pirelli, personal preference. Now, inside, it's also comfortable. Muscle cars were always comfortable cars back in the day, and this one is no different. I love the Daytona logo in the seats. There's Daytona logos all over the place. It works well here. It's not too many. It's the right amount of logos, I think, minus that big Hemi logo. It is a little logo there, 2 logos on the seats, and 2 logos, well, if you get the sticker package on the side, but there's a little, the logos are small, except for the big sticker one in the rear, which is fine, because that's paying homage to a big, ridiculous wing. So it works, the logos work for me well. It's comfortable. It easily car seats and kiddos in the back. There's tons of trunk space. We used this car to go to the beach as a family the other day, and we put all of our stuff in the trunk with room to spare. So it's useful. I put my mountain bike on the roof, as I like to do with a lot of the cars that come through here. I will show you a picture of that now to, follow me on Instagram. Boom. I think that's what the cool influencers do, right? So this car is great. Now the sticking point comes when you start talking price. The base price of a Dodge Charger 392 is $39,000, which is great. That is a great deal. This one, as equipped, is $52,000. Woo-hoo-hoo, that's a lot of money. The Daytona stuff adds $5,000 right off the bat. Then there's like technology packages with blind spot mirrors, heated and cooled front seats. So a few things that you'd want, and then you're nickel and diamond through the packages. So if you just want the Daytona 392 without some of the other stuff, you can get it away with it in the 40s. Now they also make a 5.7 liter version of the Daytona, the non 392, but 5.7 Hemi's fine, but 6.4 liter, yeah, now we're talking, baby. How does it drive? Like a big, heavy, dumb muscle car, but it's again, the brakes grab, the tires do their damnedest to try to get things working for you, but grab these paddles, make the noise. The exhaust never lets up. The exhaust never, ever lets up. And it's just, oh man, I love this car so much. It's silly, silly fun. It is, and I love the Charger over the Challenger personally, because I have a wife, a kid. I want to put people in the car. You can fit in the back seat of a Challenger, but it's easier to get into the back seat of a Charger. I also love the shape of the Charger in its current iteration. It is a damn fine looking car. I am a fan of the Charger and Challenger. Now the Challenger has the edge because you can get it with a manual gearbox. That's fine. The manual gearbox works well in that. I like the manual gearbox in that car. It's a lot of fun, but I don't feel like it's as big of a sacrifice to live with the 8-speed and the 4 doors of the Charger. I could make that choice and be happy all day long. If I needed a little manual fun car on this, so if I could afford a $52,000 Dodge Charger, I could have probably afford a cheap little Miata Track Rat weekend abuser toy, which would be great. There's always torque available no matter what gear you're in. If you want to shift it yourself on the paddles, you can do so. Just like I said, the noise never stops too, so some people are going to love it or hate it. The cold start in the morning is loud. Backing it out of the garage is loud. It's just constant. So occasionally on the highway it'll be, remind you that you're in a Charger with a 6.4 liter Hemi and you're just sort of doing your thing, and it never stops. There's no button. I love the brashness of not offering a button. I wouldn't mind a button, but I would probably always just put it in sport mode anyway. So, you know, what's the point? Just downshift, let everybody know who the fuck you are and what you're doing, and just go about your day. And this car, it's angry. It's, again, Hetfield. Watch, I'm gonna do another James Hetfield. Rah! It's so good, so good. I have yet to drive one of these and go, you know what, this is getting old. I've never thought that. There's been cars I've gone into, I'm like, oh yeah, this is fun. And then you're like, you know what, I need to grow up a little bit. This is Toys R Us isn't dead. It's still alive here. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Dodge Charger Daytona kid. How's that for a weird ass ending? There's only one volume for the Charger, and that is always effing loud. There's only one volume for the Charger, and that makes me so proud. I don't want to take this to a track and try to... Thanks for the text. I don't want to take this to a track and try to say, shut up! And the regular SRT Charger, they get the 2-piston, 15.4 inch, or no, I'm sorry, 6-piston, 2-piece. They get the big ass 15.4 inch brakes, is what they get. Though I do share the same name as the giraffe. 90s kids will get this reference. Alright, I think that's enough. What else didn't I talk about? Oh yeah, the infotainment's good. This has the optional Harman Kardon system, which sounds great. There's a Beats system available, but don't get it. Get the Harman Kardon. The Harman Kardon is much better than the Beats sound system. Beats are not good. This Uconnect has been around for a while. It is a Sprint developed system. It works really well. They've made some of the items easier to find. When you wanted to find the seat steering wheel heater and cooler, you used to have to dig through a controls menu instead of just going to climb it. It's in both, but at least they move it to the one that makes at first intuitive sense. CarPlay works fine. All of that stuff is good. Seats are comfortable. It's a great car. And if you care about fuel economy, I'm averaging 14 miles per gallon. What do you expect? What else do you expect? Put traction control back on. I'm happy Dodge continues to make these, and they keep finding new ones to slot in the lineup. It's hilarious and great and wonderful, and we should be happy that we live in a time that these cars are being made.